Hi, and welcome to Kickstarter Tips, the web's leading podcast for news, advice, and strategies on getting your Kickstarter project successfully launched and funded. Visit us now at kickstartershq.com, our unaffiliated site for Kickstarter.com project founders sharing free videos, articles, and research on exactly how they did it, and you can too. In this episode, in the news, we cover Kickstarter's upcoming UK launch, as well as Star Citizen, the largest independent crowdfunding project, which is now coming to Kickstarter, and what it means for you. Then, in the quick tip, we talk about how to get large-scale publicity without a large-scale fan base that's pre-built, before talking to Matt Tran from the Boosted Boards project about how they went from unknown to funding their goal of over $100,000 in under 24 hours with an innovative green transport idea. And now it's time for the Kickstarter news. Not affiliated in any way, shape or form with Kickstarter Inc. Well, we're only a few days off Kickstarter's official UK launch, mentioned in their blog post just a couple of weeks ago. Kickstarter gave 3 weeks notice for people to get their projects built and ready to launch, but inexplicably some projects, possibly test ones, have already been launched and even funded ahead of schedule, such as, for example, the absurd but useful looking ostrich pillow, which is listed in London, UK. So what does this actually mean for project creators? Well, on the one hand, not much. Expect to see more projects competing for the cash, but also more backers to grow the pool. Overall though, this is a strike against the bow of Indiegogo, who have touted availability outside the US and particularly in the UK as an exclusive advantage for quite a while now. With the largest market outside the US now brought into Kickstarter, expect to see Kickstarter gain an even larger lead over the smaller crowdfunding sites, securing it as the place to be for the best crowdfunding results. More exciting than this again is the fact that to prepare for opening up in the UK, Kickstarter has now put into place everything they need to expand into multiple countries. Take, for example, Amazon payments. Previously, if you were pledging on Kickstarter, you had to be in the US because Amazon payments only allowed for individuals who were in the US. Now, what we're seeing is that Kickstarter have opened it up so that backers who are in the UK are not only able to pledge, but they're actually pledging outside of Amazon's payment system and going direct through Kickstarter. Now, we haven't managed to confirm exactly who the payment processor is, but odds are that if Kickstarter's gone to all of the effort of making sure that they have a payment processor who can accept payments from outside the US, that they've probably chosen someone very international and someone who's going to make it really easy for them to expand into other countries as well. My guess is it's not going to be that long before we see other countries added to the list, probably starting with Canada, and Australia would be my other top pick. Especially like all of those English-speaking countries that have a high level of internet usage and a high level of backers. Now, even if you're in the US, which Kickstarter obviously serves already, this is a really exciting time to be launching on Kickstarter, as the visibility of your project is about to become much, much higher, with the potential to reach a truly worldwide audience of backers. If you're just planning your project, the time to start thinking about how to appeal to those international audiences is definitely now. Star Citizen makes its way to Kickstarter. Launched by game designer Chris Roberts, Star Citizen is actually a project that was launched completely independently from any crowdfunding website like Kickstarter. With a celebrity game designer like Chris, who is very well known for his game Wing Commander, back about 20 years ago or so. Star Citizen is actually the highest profile project that's yet tried to go this way of doing it all alone without launching on Kickstarter or even Indiegogo or some other site. Now, they opted to try and raise the funds entirely on their own website, or at least that's how they were doing it until recently. Star Citizen's campaign decided to list on Kickstarter recently after a very heavy load on their website actually ended up taking the site down for days on end right in the middle of their critical fundraising period. Even after putting up a backup site elsewhere, the load was still too high for people to be getting through to the site reliably. And so Chris Roberts went to his fans, his followers, and asked them if they thought he should be listing on Kickstarter. In the words of Chris himself, we asked whether they wanted Kickstarter as an option, and they spoke. It came back with a resounding yes. Roberts is now using a combination of Kickstarter and their own website to try and raise the entire amount, with the goals on Kickstarter currently set at $500,000, or about half the amount they were going for.